Please subscribe to my channel and press bell icon so you will never miss any update for upcoming videos. And don't forget to like and share.
A very good morning to all of you. I just requested the co-chair to give me the opportunity to introduce myself so that I can do it faster and save that time for my talk next time. So, Jagdish Mittur, 16 plus years of academic experience, 16 plus years of industry experience both in India as well as outside. Since I've come back, for the last 6 years I've been working for the government of Karnataka, Department of Information Technology, Biotechnology, Science and Technology, as a person coordinating the growth of Biotechnology sector in the state and hopefully have an impact beyond our state as well. So, there are two things that I really like about this particular conference. One is the venue, which I don't have to say much. Amazing venue, amazing place. I just love coming back to here, particularly for a conference like this. So thank you very much for having this conference organized here. And second thing is your tagline, hashtag, I think it's really a fantastic brand. Whoever thought of that should really get an applause for that. So, yeah, please. So, hashtag stands for Holistic Approach for Startups, HR Training for Agriculture and Food Industry, Gemmation. So that's what I want to talk about. The ecosystem. See, for us to succeed with new solutions to the challenges that we have to build an ecosystem. And that's what we're going to be talking about. That's what we talked about in the previous talks by NRDC, really good. And then what they're doing at the government of India level, and I want to spend some time talking to you about what we're doing from the state government of Karnataka level. So what is an ecosystem? Ecosystem is a place where a brilliant student or a young entrepreneur or even a faculty member comes up with an idea, and then he or she should not be bothered about anything else. Just focus only on that idea and take it to fruition, either as a product to the society or a process to the society. So they should not be bothered about too much of funding, HR, too much of infrastructure, logistics, all of that, because that will take them away. They'll spend energy in those things as opposed to pursuing the idea itself. It keeps reminding me of this place which I've never been to in Southern Hyderabad called Ramogi City, where apparently the producer goes with a story and comes up with a film. So obviously everything is provided for. So that's what we want to look for, like scientists. You go in with an idea, come out with a product or a process, then it's all done. Unfortunately, it's a very capital-intensive process, so it's not as easy. Maybe it's easy in Hollywood, Bollywood, but not as easy in life sciences. So I want to spend time on what we're trying to do from the government of Karnataka's perspective. So basically what we do is, we need to identify what the challenges are. And I think we've already identified a lot of challenges. Some are obvious and some were not so obvious. Particularly when the defense person this morning was talking about the requirements of our soldiers in the high altitude area, something that they don't normally think about. So I think some of that is very good. And the NRDC talk also brought home to the ground of what government of India is trying to do in terms of technology generation and transferring the technology. So we need to identify challenges and how the governments can actually formulate a policy so that these challenges can be addressed in a focused manner for challenges. And then what can we do creating infrastructure? Whether it could be equipment, it could be incubator center, it could be connectivity, it could be exposure, all of that. So that infrastructure is the third one. And then of course we need HR, we need human resource. Of course machines are replacing human beings. I'm worried about that, what we're going to do with all the idle people, like more and more robotics and AI and all this is going to take over the driverless cars and pilots, aeroplanes and things like that. So, but HR is still very, very important, I think. So we need to spend some time in HR. Of course, funding is required. So I'm going to spend a few minutes and trying to share with you some of the schemes that government of Karnataka has introduced, so that some of you can avail that and then get working. Something like that, here, what's happening here. So, I feel India is the land of opportunities. A while ago, everyone was flying to America, thinking the land of melting pot, land of opportunities, but I'm not sure how many challenges they really have. Really at the level that the challenges that we have. If you look at it, challenges in India prevail because of the exploding human population, plus billions and billions of animals that we have to take care of, all depending on the same resources that humans depend on. Decreasing resources, land, water, and air, Climate change, you can see the impact of that already in many, many places, including India. Increasing imports, pollution, all of that you know very well, right? Now, if you just look at this central line, amazing that every challenge is related to one or the other of F words. They're all F related, F word related, okay? So that's something that we need to keep in mind. And then we need technologies. We cannot ignore some of the traditional technologies. And of course, we need to bring in new technologies, how they can converge and find solutions and using best practices. But what we need to do is distinguish the core technologies versus enabling technologies. What is the core technology required and what is enabling technologies required with the core technology to take the process to the market. Core technology is something that is hidden in life sciences. Enabling is something that can come from an IT or from AI or from robotics and so all of that. So how can they come together to find a solution? So we cannot ignore core technologies by only focusing on enabling technologies. For example, drones are good in taking delivery to a crop field, but you still need a cure for the disease, maybe in fields or effectively attacking exactly where the disease points are. So both are very important. Okay, now I'm very proud to say that our department in the Ministry of IT, BT and SNT of Government of Karnataka, in the last few years, hard work for many, many people. We have established 57 innovation hubs across the state, mostly in these states and some of the cities here. 57 innovation hubs, some of them are up and running, some of them being established. So people can actually look at these innovation hubs and see where they can fit in and what sort of logistics are required for you to take your idea forward. Okay, now we are focusing on multiple technology with sector agnostic. Sometimes you need other technologies to come closer to the technologies that you're interested in because answers may not lie only in your technology. You need technology coming from other areas. Some of these things are shown here. For example, agro-innovation may require IoT, it may require machine learning and robotics. So how can they come together to find a new solution as opposed to getting stuck to only your way of doing things? So this is where we are trying to do great innovation hub in such a way that expertise from different sectors actually come in and together we can provide an answer to the challenge that we have. Okay, so Karnataka government actually released their startup policy well before the government of India released. This was back in 2015, around September of 2015, and I really recommend you to all the younger ones and other adults as well to go to this website, startupkarnataka.gov. A lot of information is given, so I won't be going through any of the details, but you can look at what is a startup from our point of view, definition of a startup. There's a clear distinction between a startup working in the life sciences area, biotech area versus a startup working in the other areas. You need to be at least 7 years established, up to 7 years, or within 7 years for you to get qualified in biotech area, or 4 years for the IT and other areas here. So it also gives you who is not a startup, exclusions here, okay, at the top, yeah. And then what are some of the incentives? I think NRDC speaker mentioned some of the incentives that you will get. They have similar incentives, whether it's patenting cost or providing marketing incentives or exposure opportunities, take you to conferences in other countries or other states. So some of these, you can get all of this in this particular website. Okay, in a nutshell, in summary, we have this for life science. I'm talking about only life sciences, which includes food and nutrition. Okay, we have 56 plus bio-incubation suites spread across 4 different cities. Bengaluru, BPP is Bengaluru Bio-Innovation Center, and the one that I'm extremely proud of is actually here in this campus working with CFTRI, which is called NPIC, Nutraceutical Phytopharmaceutical Incubation Center, Downhome and Instrumentation Facility, that I'm going to be touching upon, and my colleague, my collaborator, Mr. Manilal, is going to be expanding on that a bit more. And then one focusing on agriculture technology in IAB TUS Dharwad, and one on horticulture which is Bangalore. Please don't keep looking at only Bangalore and Mysore are your places where you can come and incubate to provide you an opportunity to take your idea forward. Please also consider other cities like Dharwad and Bangalore, where there's a lot of overlap between food, nutrition, and agriculture, horticulture. So please consider these other places as well. So we have about 30 incubation suites in Bangalore, and there is a demand. Demand is going up. 10 in here in Mysore, 10 in Dharwad, and then 6 in Bagalkot, and we're going to be building more in other places as well. Okay, just to give you a snapshot of what's happening in Bangalore, this is the Electronic City, just off the headquarters of Infosys and Siemens. And so here we have about 82 or 83 acres of land, and we're trying to build a cluster. So what we have is, let's use this one. Yeah. So what we have is an institutional area where we have Institute for Bioinformatics and Applied Biotechnology. We have Center for Human Genetics. So here we have more room to build more institutions. And these ones have been established for really 10 to 15 years or more, and they're really making a mark both in terms of training human resources as well as initiating new R&D programs. And the next area is for about 10 acres of Bengaluru Innovation Center, Innovation Zone, and here we have the Bengaluru Innovation Center. And the remaining area is what we're looking at, working with a partner to establish a biomanufacturing zone, so people who come out of the incubation suites now, they've reached the area to concept stage, and now they want to scale up, and for scale up we need to provide opportunities, and hopefully we will have something along those lines here. Okay, BBC in Bangalore has got it's a 10-acre campus that has 66,000 square feet, and it can envision to cover all the broad areas of life sciences, healthcare, food and nutrition, environment, industry, retail, agriculture, and so on. So if they're looking for space in Bangalore, the space is premium. A lot of people waiting, but do apply, so you have an opportunity to come and incubate in this building here, and you have all the facilities for you to take your idea forward. And some snapshots of how the infrastructure is located here in BBC. And these are some of the companies that have been there or continue to be there. And Rodeo, actually a technology that came, I believe that came from CFTRI, they actually came there to incubate there, and they're involved in delivering a specialized food and advanced nutritious products for children who have inherited metabolic disease. So this is something that was very, very important to us as a visitor. And there are many other labs working on allergen, of course the discovery of allergen detection indoor, food and water, focus that this company is doing conversion of waste to wealth, and many other things like neuro disorders and so on. Okay, another set of companies, the ones in yellow are again linked with agriculture and nutrition. Food adulteration is another one. Now this is in Bagalkot. We actually built a Center for Biotechnology Research, and within that building we established incubation suites for any of you to go there and explore anything related to horticulture, agriculture, something that can be more nutrition enhanced. So there is space there as well. This is how Bagalkot Incubation Center looks like. And we're trying to connect Bagalkot Incubation Center to Institute of Bioinformatics and Applied Biotechnology, so there is a good bioinformatics genomics assistance for the projects that are being run in Bagalkot. And these are some of the companies that are in Bagalkot. You can see most of them are agri and nutrition oriented. Now we come to Dharwad, a similar one. Here we have 10 incubation suites, and we have about 3 incubators already working there. And again, there is more room if any of you want to use this space, it's available. Okay, these are the companies in Karnataka first. Sorry, we're going backward. Yeah, this is in Dharwad. You can see a few companies there dealing with fertilizers, pesticides, looking at micronutrients. And now we come to Mysuru. Okay, I won't be saying much on this because Mr. Manilal is going to say a lot more about this, but I must congratulate the team led by Manilal and the director, who have been extremely cooperative, extremely patient. I think it must be the campus here that sort of brings a sense of calmness to people, unlike what we have in Bangalore, which is so crowded, and we're always in a hurry. But thanks to them, we have established a state-of-the-art incubation center, and I don't think there is a better place in the country to where a startup can actually flourish because you have access to the entire ecosystem, the entire environment, whether it's mentorship, technology transfer, or what have you. So it's all available here. So we are very, very proud to have Government of Karnataka is very proud to have associated with CFTRI to take this forward. And these are some of the companies that are incubated there and take over or exited. For more details of Mr. Madhuram. This is how it looks like. Please find time to go and visit this big CIF. This may be the place for you to come forward and incubate. Okay, of course there are some challenges, and we're going to continue to work with CSR, with the CFTRI to see how else the Government of Karnataka can provide support, either in the near term or in the long term, in any which way we can. For that, we have to show that there are successful companies that have come out of CIF, and the Government of Karnataka will be ready to provide more help so that the startups actually can flourish. Okay, so in summary, again, I have about 56 incubation suites spread across 4 cities, and we're trying to establish more. Also, we're trying to looking for institutions where we can establish technology business incubation, where the Government of Karnataka will try, in partnership with the host institution, will provide some seed money to transfer technology that institution may already have, how we can again attract young people to those institutions and for them to take forward. So they won't be coming to the incubation centers that they've already established, but it will be happening in their own colleges, their own institutions there. So this is happening as well. For example, we did one in Manipur in the area of health and diagnostics, and then one in Bangalore, in the US, Bangalore for Biotech. Likewise, in AFs, we want to inculcate the spirit of entrepreneurship even at the younger level, at the bachelor's level. So now, in second-tier cities, Government of Karnataka has established what we call as the main centers, New Age Incubation Network, where we will provide 10 lakhs capex money to the institution upon screening, and then they will get 30 lakhs, 15 lakhs per project. So 10 young students, undergraduates, if they have something interesting, then they will get 3 lakhs per project so that they can take it forward. So again, this is again to get them motivated that there is a career option for you to pursue the entrepreneurship board as opposed to just the regular academic board. Okay? In a nutshell, with some of the statistics that we are focusing on. And one thing that we are still talking about, unfortunately, is not moved around, but something that will happen in the future, I'm sure. In cooperation with KBITS, we want to establish an aquamarine biotech in Mangalore, in collaboration with College of Fisheries, and then again in KBITS Bidar in the area of animal biotech. Okay, now we've told you about challenges, I've mentioned to you about policies, I've mentioned to you about infrastructure. Now we need human resource. So where will we find the human resource? Of course, Government of India is also trying to come up with programs wherein postgraduates and graduates are trained specifically for industry. That's the sort of feedback we had from the vision group that we have in Karnataka, where they said some of the graduates coming out of colleges are not necessarily industry ready. So about 6-7 years ago, we initiated a program called BTFS, Biotechnology Finishing School, and in the 5 years of that particular program, we had about 828 students enrolled, 734 actually completed the course, and actually most of them have gone on well in terms of job placement. We had about 70% job placement, and many of them left for other areas as well. And in the meantime, we established links with something like 300 plus companies who are actually absorbing students for internship. The course is designed in such a way the first 6 months they spent in a particular domain of biotechnology in one of these institutions spread across the state, and the second 6 months they will actually work as an intern in a particular company of relevance to that particular domain of biotechnology. And the funding scholarship is provided by the Government of India up to 10,000 rupees per month. That's the current scholarship amount. So those of you who are not finding it difficult to find a job after post-graduation, you may want to consider this sort of program where you have 1 year break from your regular thing, but you will get specifically trained in a particular domain of biotechnology, and then you will be better equipped to get a job in that particular company. So now in the last 2 years, last year and a half, we changed the name from BTFS to Biotechnology Skill Enhancement Program. We increased the number of institutions up to 18. And then one of the domains that we've been focusing even in the last 6-7 years is nutraceutical food processing and fermentation bioprocessing. And we're also trying to be aligned with the National Skill Council bodies so that they can find jobs not just here in Karnataka but also outside. So this is the amount of funding that we got from Government of Karnataka as well as from DBGO and India. So this is a very successful program that we've been following up, and this is the BICEP program, batch 1, batch 2. Batch 1 is doing their internship right now, and batch 1 just started in October 2018, and they will be, these students coming out of the program will be available for particularly startup companies when they have struggling for money to hire people. But here, for 6 months, you can have them as interns, and you don't have to worry about paying for scholarship because Government of Karnataka or Government of India will pay for the scholarship. So it's a great opportunity for startups to extract work and knowledge and ideas from these young people. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on what we've done in this training program in the area of nutraceutical food processing and fermentation and bioprocessing. Over the first 5 batches, we trained 83 in nutraceutical food processing and 197. These are some
Jagdish, can you conclude in another 2
Sure. Yeah, nearly done. Yeah. So here we have some of the companies that have absorbed them for internships, and then likewise in fermentation bioprocessing. We have links here, and this is the companies that actually place them in jobs, including CSIR-CFTRI. Okay, many companies here. This just gives you the compensation they get at the time of hiring and how some of them are really doing well, or they can increase their compensation as they grow in their careers in the company. Okay, students of the first batch of BICEP. So again, this is an example of one particular institution called Biotechnology. I think some of the students are actually here. So they've done really, really well in terms of training these young graduates so that they're specialized in nutraceutical sample processing. So they're available for any job. This is the syllabus. So hopefully most of the areas are covered in the syllabi, but we're always open to industry for them to come up with new technologies or new domains. Students who have graduated. So okay, last 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just talk about funding, and then so now you have infrastructure, you have human resource, but of course, if you want some money to pay your employees, right? So here we have plenty of quite a few schemes that we have. One is idea to POC, and then with grant challenges, and then we also have venture funds. Some of the details are actually mentioned in the website, so you can have a look. So all I'm saying is there are opportunities from the state of Karnataka as well as from Government of India for you to pursue your startup ideas. Okay, so this is, for example, in Agri-Tech, MedTech, we are spending about 18.6 crores in promoting startups under the idea to POC program, Innovate program, and these are some of the numbers. Okay, we also opened grant challenge, similar to what Melinda and Bill Gates do it, and one of the grant challenge program was nutrition and improvement of health in rural regions, and we have some of the companies actually got selected, and the scheme there is that against the grant challenge, based on the number of applicants we select 5 of them, they get 10 lakhs each. After about 6 months, the best one out of those 5 will get selected for a 50 lakh grant. So this is a specific challenge that they need to address. Okay, I think I'm nearly done. So I don't know if publishing students are they here? Print students here? Okay, some of them are there. So they are really, really flourishing well, and I think they are in demand from many, many different companies. I'm just showing you example of one institution, there are many such institutions. So those of you who want to pursue your startup ideas, entrepreneurship ideas, here you have some people who are already skilled, so they'll be ready to work for you. So please tell me. Okay, so again, just to summarize my talk, I just want to mention that it's very important to identify what the challenges are, and then get the governments to formulate a policy that is required, provide the infrastructure, build human resource, nurture them to come and contribute to you, and then provide some funding, at least take them to a stage where they can find funding on their own through venture capitals or angel investors, so on, and provide them extensive networking, both domestic as well as international. I'm sure the results will come.